I mean, this is relatively quick. Ghost of Tsushima is on PC now. Very cool. Finally, this is I forgot that this came out on PS4. That's how kind of like old it is.
That's wild. But it was
it's like 2018, 2019, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was kind of the tail end of the PS4, but it still came out.
I think it came out before the PS5, so it must have been 2019.
Yeah,
round about then. I remember really enjoying this game, even though it was very much another Ubisoft checklist sort of thing. I just thought the story, the characters were really good, and then the thing that really drew me in was just how Sucker Punch captured that setting and the world just looks phenomenal. I mean, even on PS4, it just nails the balance of art direction and then visual fidelity to the point where like it is almost timeless. It just looks good no matter when you're playing it, no matter what you're playing it on. And I think that's no more apparent on a very powerful PC where you can really crank the like frame rate so you get the responsiveness and fluidity that the PS4 never had. When it came to PS5, you could kind of get there, but now along with like this visual makeup that just looks really, really good. And I think runs pretty decently on PC. Like you were saying earlier, we've got pretty strong PCs. They're not 40 series NVIDIA GPUs here, which means some games like, your Alan Wakes of the world and stuff are starting to show how they can stress this sort of hardware. But Ghost of Tsushima, I'm playing this thing at like 4K cranked.
Sure.
And it's like well above 60, no problems. And they've got these additional settings like DLSS that let you get high frame rates as well with the resolution scaling. And then this other cool feature where you can use AMD's own frame generation, where like if you've got a brand new NVIDIA card, you can do this with NVIDIA's proprietary software, but it's exclusive to their new cards, which I think is absolute bullshit. AMD's solution is more open source and more widely available on every single card out there, and it works really well. Like I can hit 120 frames per second at 4K with relative ease, and that just feels really good for a game, especially if you're playing on like, I don't know if you ever played it on, I think it's called lethal mode.
Yeah, I did.
It's like billed as the game's hardest mode, but I also think it's the game's most realistic mode because yes, it's hard because you pretty much instantly die, but enemies also instantly die, which is really, it feels really cool. Very high stakes combat, and I love it. I just think the game sings when you play it like that, and having the additional frame rates and responsiveness to coincide with that feels really good. So yeah, game is still good. I think if you've been waiting out on PC for it, this is a no-brainer. You should absolutely play that. And I still think it has the best late title card scene of any game ever. It is just so good. It's like, it's really set up the stakes for the game. You've kind of just had your ass handed to you by the big bad, and Jin doesn't really know where to start with like this big redemption journey, and the music is swelling, and you've already been playing for like an hour, maybe two at this point, and he's got that horse and he's galloping through that field of like reeds, and he bends over and his hand is like sweeping the reeds, and you just get like the like Sony Entertainment presents you like, oh my god, this is just, it's so good. It's good. Yeah, it's like movie quality shit. It's real good.
I think even just thinking back to Ghost, like it must be interesting playing it now, because you're right, it came out like 4 years ago, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, seeing what that game did, which other games have learned from already in terms of like how you navigate that game. I mean, no other game has a wind, that directs.
Yeah, that's true, actually. But it's very subtle, I think, because they keep doing the wind over and over, and you can follow this thing without constantly like initiating a map or something like that,
But it's just interesting. Like if I think of a good example is the fox, where if you see a fox in this game and you follow it, it'll lead you to a something. How many other games have learned from that? I mean, even Final Fantasy Rebirth, which we spoke about earlier.
I was literally
got
about
the
to
exact
say
same
there's
thing.
an identical thing
there's a
Rebirth.
You either have a baby chocobo or a bird flying to you being like, hey, can you follow me? And it's just like such a simple idea that Ghost of Tsushima did first that others have learned from.
Yeah.
I love that
I
game.
agree. I think it established some cool open world ideas. I just think it also fell victim to content over quality at some points. Like when you get to the third island or the third area of the game, I was already like, okay, I feel like I'm done.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm done with this.
the story needs to like wrap up. And thankfully that third area is significantly smaller than the previous two. I think this game has a really good power curve. Like you feel very limited at the beginning, but by the end you feel like an absolute badass assassin. It just
everything.
Feels phenomenal. It is
Good.
To me still the best Assassin's Creed game that has come out since probably Assassin's Creed Origins, you know, before this big pivot to RPGs.
We've got Assassin's Creed Japan coming out sometime.
That's true. What's it called? Shadows?
Shadows. And in a world where Ghost of Tsushima already exists, I'm like, you've got to be really, really good.
They've got shoes to fill. They will have direct comparisons now. I think the establishment of the two protagonists in the game and you know, the protagonist they've chosen has really piqued my interest. I just if it is another Valhalla sort of experience, I'm just going to be so irritated.
Tap out,
But yeah, that's Ghost of Tsushima. It's really good on PC. I think it's worth a replay even if you've played it before. I'm enjoying my time.
Did you play the Iki Island expansion?
I didn't. So that's an interesting. That's a good thing to bring up. So if you want to hop straight into the expansion, you can't, which kind of sucks. Yeah.
This camera.
It would have been nice to be able to do that because essentially it sits apart from the main game. And I do recall when it came out, if you wanted to hop into it, it would like scale you up to your necessary level if you were still relatively early in the game. And I thought, you know, with it being on PC, it would just be an option from the main menu, be like, go to Iki Island. Maybe, I could be wrong. Maybe you have to get to a certain point in the story and it just lets you go there.
I think you don't have to finish the game. I think it's a story-specific thing you'll have to do. Yeah.
So maybe I just need to play a bit more and then I can hop straight into it. Because, that's something I never finished on PlayStation. So I do want to get to that. You also have the multiplayer mode, Legends, which is like I think it's like a PvE, 4-player PvE sort of thing. I never played that. I think it would be neat to play, but like to try and get 4 people invested in Ghost of Tsushima now, I think is a tough ask when things like Helldivers exist, you know.
My God, Helldivers.
What a game.
Didn't talk about that. I've been playing a lot of Helldivers again.
The gift that keeps on giving, that game. Yeah. But yeah, it's another good Sony exclusive to come to PC, and it seems like God of War Ragnarok is the next one on the plate. But I think this is just another release that goes to show that Sony's purchase of Nixies was like one of the best choices they've made in a very long time. That studio continually puts out very, very good ports with features that are very welcome by PC players. It's not just a port that seems like a rehash of what's on PlayStation. So yeah, it's cool.